Good morning, everyone. I'd like to go ahead and call us to order as we're 8:30. If we could please do the roll call.
Gary Anders. Perrin Anderson.
Present.
Michael Biddle.
Yes, ma'am.
Crystal Gibson.
Here.
Rusty Goddard. Stephen Goodpaster.
Here.
Marcus Hilliard. Carletta Randall Smelser. Debbie Stafford.
Here.
Marcus Kennedy.
Here.
Damon Rawls. Greg Stinnett. You have 6 voting members present.
So does that constitute a quorum? All right. 6 is a quorum, correct, David?
All right, you'll have to tell me how many voting members you have.
5 is a quorum. Okay, I just want to be absolutely sure so no one can say we did the wrong thing. So does anyone have any amendments to bring to the agenda? Okay, and with that, Perrin, if you wouldn't mind providing us the devotional.
Certainly. If everyone could please bow their heads for a moment of reflection. As we gather here today, let's all take a moment to appreciate the strength found in community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to come together in fellowship and for the diverse talents and perspectives present in this room. May we be inspired to do our best, not only for ourselves, but as good citizens and stewards for the people of our area. Help us to act with compassion, integrity, and a sense of shared responsibility in everything presented before us today. Amen.
Thank you very much for that. I understand that Damon is a little under the weather. So, Crystal, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And at this time, we have our public forum. I do not see anyone in the audience. I do not know of anyone that requested to speak. So with that, we will move along. The next item of business is to approve the February 11th minutes. If everyone would take a look over that. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve. Any second?
A second.
We have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Now for the next item, new business. We have a report from the subcommittee as to consider the comprehensive review and revision of the Knox County Code of Ethics and Rules of Procedures. So with that, do we have to vote to suspend rules at that point to have the discussion?
I wouldn't say why.
Okay, so at this point, I would like to turn it over to the sub-chair head, Mr. Mike Biddle, to go ahead and fill us in.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I first of all would like to thank the members of the subcommittee and for all their hard work. Ms. Crystal Gibson, Mr. Goodpaster, Mr. Marcus Kennedy, Mr. Hilliard. I believe there were a couple others on the committee. Unfortunately, they didn't attend much, so sorry, I'm old, so their names don't come to mind. But I really want to thank the folks who put in a lot of work. Mr. Sanders was integral in his wisdom and law knowledge, and Miss Rhonda Bennett for herding cats. And to the county clerk's office, to Kim and Haley for your impeccable notes. Thank you so Mr. Goodpaster, did I leave anybody out? And thanks to the 538,000 viewers every week of the beautiful meetings of the County of Knox. With that being said, Madam Chair, I would like to dive into the Code of Ethics updates. And for the benefit of everybody here in the audience, these were sent prior to the committee. No work or discussion was done in between meetings we are covered by the Tennessee Sunshine Law. So I want to assure that no communication was spoken of in between meetings nor prior to this meeting regarding this body of work. With that being said, everyone in this room received a copy from Ms. Bennett of both the updates and proposed changes for the Code of Ethics and the Knox County Ethics Procedures. I would like to avoid, very much, Madam Chair, avoid going through line by line. We've done that for 6 months with a lot of work and intentionality put forth here. So I would, if it's okay with you, Madam Chair, just open it up to the floor for any questions that anybody has regarding the Code of Ethics. I'd like to focus on that first.
I've got just a couple of questions, and mostly it's just clarification. type
Sure.
things. On page 3, under definitions, number 1, the definition of county, it talks about everybody that's covered. However, the Knox County Board of Education and all Knox County administrators, et cetera, are excluded. I was just curious if the Board of Education and the school system has their own process for going through something like this, since they're excluded from this. They do? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then a couple of just small things I just noticed. It might be just the OCD in me. On page 9, under 7.1, as I was reading it, it starts out all Knox County employees, but in the previous couple of sections, it kind of listed as elected officials, employees, and appointees. It encompasses everybody. And then in this section, it just mainly references employees. I didn't know if maybe it should all be matching the previous sections and how it's worded, or maybe there's a purpose for that. I don't know. I was just curious.
Mr.
Just,
Kennedy?
which one are you looking at? We have 2 separate
Yeah.
copies.
So I'm going with the one today. I'm sure that
Okay.
Mr. Anders has notes from from what was
Right.
given through email.
And I'll,
Is that,
Let me pull
that's
up
my
the-
fault for 2 copies. I was afraid we might
Okay.
have questions about both, and I thought if we do both, it'll be confusing, and if we only do one, we'll have questions about the other, so I apologize about that.
So it's actually page 11.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, on the newer one.
Clarify which one we're looking at.
Yes.
The one that's in the packet is the one they should.
We are looking at the one that was paper clipped to the agenda.
I think you picked the other.
Oh, I got that one. This is right here, and this is what was put before me.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Anders, I think, being he's a
Yes.
twin brother of mine, so I know what he's thinking, he's going off of what you sent via email and
Right.
marked up notes on. Is that correct,
Correct.
Mr.
That's
Anders?
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll refer to the current one, the new pages.
Thank you, sir.
Got
So
them both here.
you're on page 11, section 7, 7.1, duty, where it states and starts with all Knox County employees have a professional, where you've made the astute comment that elsewhere it
Page
said
9.
elected officials and all Knox County employees.
Page 9.
Right.
Is that what I heard you say, sir?
Right, in section 5 and 6, it's listed elected officials, employees, and appointees. Kind of encompasses everybody. Just wasn't sure if 7.1 and maybe others, 7.3.
So 7.1 and 7.3 is on page 9 of the one that was paper clipped to the agenda.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The one
All right.
about theft, misappropriation, or mismanagement of county funds? Yes, that's
Got
page
it.
9.
I had it backwards as well, so I think we're all on the, sorry,
That's
same
all right.
page.
You're good. I've got 3 here.
All right. Mr. Kennedy, did you have any thoughts on that, or do you remember us discussing this?
I don't. So what I have pulled up is the version that came out of the subcommittee. So I know Mr. Goodpasture had some other ones that he recommended. So I'm focusing on what we had presented first. So are you saying you want to add maybe what I've put in there now, all Knox County officials and employees, keep it kind of similar to what has been said before, all encompassing, including everybody? Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know
Sure.
if there was a reason that it was worded differently or.
Probably just a oversight and
I remember the conversation. It was because of the headings, the sections, and where they fell. So the first one I think you're referring to is the one that falls under nepotism. I think, I just remember that. We did have a discussion about it. I don't know why we didn't change it but we were talking about like the elected officials falling under nepotism and maybe the employees under the other section. It's just, it was from the headings and the subheadings.
Okay. I don't think it's going to hurt to have it in there. It's not going to do any damage.
Mr. Anders, would you be satisfied? And I love the, thank you, one, for reading this. And I don't know how many naps you took in between, but
Oh, no.
thank you, sir. Secondly, would this be appropriate, sir, to, in 7.1, to start with all elected officials, employees, and appointees? That's taken from Section 6, whistleblower protection. And Mr. Sanders is a big fan, and so am I, of consistency. Would that be okay, sir?
Yeah, that'd be fine. And maybe 7.3 as well.
Yes, sir, I saw that as well. And then
And
7.4 as well, right?
Yeah. Just for consistency.
We'd love consistency.
And
Thank you, sir.
then there
What
was
else?
a couple other quick things.
Sure.
I'm not going to reference a page number, but in section 8,
Okay.
number 11, down at the bottom of the page, it mentions the Ethics Committee members shall review and acknowledge the ethics training video within 90 days. And then at the end, it says, committee members will submit an acknowledgement form to the chair. And I just was curious, I wasn't aware of where that form would be and how to get that to the chair. I have watched it a couple of times, but
Wonderful.
We had that discussion in the past, and I don't know the answer to that either, unfortunately. I know I watched the training video. Did you see a place online for the form?
I didn't.
Okay.
There isn't one, Madam Chair, that I know of. I think what we talked about is we could just watch the video and read it into the record today. That, hey, everybody's watched this and acknowledged it. So
Okay.
something along those lines. I mean, we could do it today if it's up to you. We don't have to, but that's what we were looking at.
And that's totally fine, but I do agree with Gary that if it's in there that they should be signing a form, we need to have a form. So my thought is either we get a form that we could put on the website, like a PDF link that we could print and download.
Sure.
Or two, we just take out about signing a form. What do you all think?
Yeah, either one's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm actually okay with the acknowledgement because it will be read into the record if we acknowledge it at a meeting.
And I think that's good. I think we should all do that today, but moving forward for future members, if this is adopted, they will be coming forward for the new members going, where's the form for me to sign?
No, I'm saying stat the verbiage.
Oh, okay, set the verbiage instead.
Is just my proposal, take away the verbiage, and then future members will acknowledge in a full meeting, and it'll be read into the record.
Okay.
But I can go either way.
Madam Chair, I was just having a sidebar over here. I believe, according to Mr. Kennedy, all Knox County employees do sign a form that they have watched this video when they are onboarded. And so I imagine that is what that
Form is.
language is referring to, is that form.
Well, this is specific to the ethics committee. And
Yeah.
so it's just one of those things where if you're an ethics committee, you're appointed, you go and watch the video, and then you're told to sign a form, and you don't have access to the form.
And I'm not an
Right, well, I'm about to say
employee.
is I assume HR has that form. They could just give it to the.
Not every member is an
Yeah.
employee.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not an employee.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know to reach out to HR.
Can
Well,
we?
where's it going to be kept to? That's the other discussion we had, is if we sign the form, who retains that form? So, which is why we opted to, maybe we watch it together, it's read into the record, hey, all these members have watched it on this date at this meeting. You're good.
So how do y'all want to change that verbiage on number 11?
We could
Just-
change it to something to the effect of maybe new appointees at their first ethics meeting, some kind of similar, like to say delineate it to the first meeting.
How about, and will be acknowledged at their first official meeting? How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
So let's make sure that Mr. Kennedy can change that and we can agree on the final language.
I'm sorry, what were we wanting to say in there?
So
In that
strike committee members will submit the acknowledgement form to the chair and replace it, and will verbally acknowledge at their first official ethics committee regular meeting.
Roger that.
If we change it to that, the 90 days, will that put a hiccup in it once they're appointed? For example, if there's a vacancy, the 90 days may not.
Yeah, it might be the week
Match,
before
yeah.
ethics committee. How about we strike it out, the within 90 days, and say, available on the Knox County website prior to her first official meeting. So it'll be available on the Knox County website to be viewed prior to his or her first official ethics
Ethics
committee
committee
meeting. Does it sound okay?
Are you typing that up there so I can read it?
Yep, sorry, going slow.
I'm like, how do you read that? I need new glasses.
I know, I wish the bigger monitor was over here so we could see it.
Yeah, now I've got to, okay. So are there any other questions or areas of discussion?
That's the last one I have for that.
So I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So this will, as of, Mr. Sanders, do we vote on each document separately or can we vote on them together for approval?
As far as between the procedure and the policy,
Yes, sir.
I would vote on separately
Thank
because
you.
one may be approved and one may not be.
Correct. Thank you so much.
So I just want to remind everyone that when we vote to update this, this does not mean it's automatically updated. What happens is once we vote, if we choose to accept it, we will then make an appearance with Knox County Commission and address the commission and present our findings. And it is up to the chair to accept or reject what you all have worked on and what we have voted on. Is that correct?
Madam Chair, that is correct. If I can make a suggestion, there is, I spoke with an employee of CTAS over the weekend. I happened to be at a conference with him, and he expressed a willingness to take a look at our draft and see whether it met with what they believe to be the appropriate rules.
Can you
It-
explain what CTAS is? I
Oh,
have
I'm
no
sorry, the
idea.
County Technical Advisory Service.
Okay.
It is an organization, I think, basically run by the University of Tennessee that county governments use to come up with policies, procedures, that sort of thing. And in fact, our past code is based upon CTAS's model code, and the law, the statutes that control this say that as long as you're using the CTAS model code, you do not need to get approval from the state as to you don't need to file your code with the state. You just need to submit that you are using CTAS's model code. If, however, you deviate from CTAS's model code, then you have to file with the state. So it occurs to me that having an objective set of eyes on this might be a good idea before this goes to commission for approval. Because if commission approves this without that, you run the risk of someone coming in later and saying, oh, I'm sorry, this shouldn't have been a part of it. Then commission's going to have to go back through and amend.
So I guess my question would be, is it the Ethics Committee responsibility to get CTAS approval, or is it the County Commission's responsibility?
I don't think either body has to get CTAS's approval. I'm suggesting that it might be a good idea to take a beat after you all have approved the document that you are going to recommend to commission, to let CTAS review it and make sure it meets what they believe to be the appropriate standards before you have commission vote on it. Otherwise, if you have commission vote on it and there's a problem with it, your commission's going to have to go back and revise it, and possibly that'll involve kicking it back to the ethics committee or not. But it'll save some steps,
Okay.
possibly.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I've worked with CTAS for over a decade now, and what Mr. Sanders is saying is correct. That's what they do, is they serve county governments. I think it's an excellent idea and a way to ensure accuracy before it gets sent any further from this committee.
Okay. I think they're wonderful ideas. I do feel like, excuse me, I apologize. As a layperson in Knox County, at the end of the day, I don't know any other way to say this except just say it. When it comes to the ethics of our county, I feel like it is we the people and not the state that should define that. But I certainly understand the issues and that it could create. But I feel like we're not here to mimic the state. I feel like we're here to be an independent authority, along with working with the state as much as we can. So I certainly think it's a great idea for them to review it. But even if there was a difference, it's really up to the county to make that final, it's up to the commission to make that final decision. So how do you all feel about it?
I appreciate Mr. Sanders coming with us today. And to put timing aside, I guess my one question would be, how long, Mr. Sanders, do you think they would render an opinion and turnaround on this?
I don't know. It's, I did not, it was a casual conversation between speakers, with another participant in a conference. So he didn't make any commitment. He just said, he's actually said, I will be glad to look at it. It was not a matter of an official request or official acceptance of the request.
Do you know, Mr. Sanders, did CTAS look at this in 2018?
I don't know. So two things. One, up until now, as far as I know, our code, which is the only thing required under the law to be in a certain format, was the CTAS model code. We are deviating from it now somewhat because we're inserting things and changing some terminology. And I'm not saying that we're violating any laws or rules. I've tried to steer us away from that, but what we're doing is not the CTAS model code anymore. Now, the rules of procedure, which is I think what got changed in 18, is that right? The rules of procedure are different. Those are just simply ours. And so those are the requirement for that is they meet legal definitions of due process. And there's no model rules of procedure out there for CTAS to have an opinion about.
Okay.
Any other thoughts? So,
I'm sorry,
No,
Madam
go
Chair. I did want to address that one statement you made. Remember, there are statutes that govern what we're doing here. And so to the extent that obviously this committee has to follow the state law regarding ethics rules. I just want to make sure we're clear. I think I, as an attorney, as this group's attorney, have to raise that. I mean, we can't just go and develop whatever we want.
sure. And it is not my hope or intention or suggestion that we violate any laws. It is my suggestion that we take a step up because, to be honest, the state is known to be a den of vipers at times. So I'm not saying they don't also do very many wonderful things, but yes, we want to follow the rules, but just because they only said this doesn't mean we can't say, hey, let's include that. Let's elevate ourselves a little bit higher beyond the bare minimum. That's what I'm suggesting. Any other thoughts? All right. Well, if there are no other comments, we need a motion to accept the revised, updated draft.
Before we get a motion, can we go back and look at this sentence? You know, me and my obsessions. I just want to read it in print. The one that we corrected, it's page 10 in the draft, section 8, number 11. Marcus was too quick for me. I couldn't read that fast.
You're good.
Could you read it out loud, Marcus?
Yep, sure thing. So it says, all Ethics Committee members shall view the ethics training video available on the Knox County website prior to his or her first official ethics meeting.
Which shall be acknowledged at the first official ethics meeting. Prior to his or her first, which shall be acknowledged at their official ethics meeting. Is that okay? Which would take away the necessity for the form language. Is that,
Well, hang on.
Okay.
does that make sense?
Which thing? We've had
that
some more
make sense?
talking.
Mr. Goodpasture's
Okay.
suggestions, and nobody's discussed those yet.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Shall, well, we discussed taking away the language of the form. Am I overthinking this? Y'all know how I am. Just so that we shall acknowledge it. The new members shall acknowledge it at their first meeting, so that we would have something official.
Yeah, no, I think you're good. I'm just trying to think of how to put that in there.
Mr. Kennedy, I would do a second sentence. That might be helpful with new members shall be acknowledged in the record
At their first official? Well, that's redundant, but.
Yeah.
of completing the training video. And I'm not ashamed of repeating of his, her first official ethics meeting. That just provides clarity and consistency.
Now, before we take a vote, Mr. Goodpaster, did you have some comments you would like to bring to the table?
Yes, ma'am. And these are a reflection of our not being able to talk outside of session. Okay. So I was unable to attend the last meeting and because I was at a national conference for the Appraisal Institute. And I am terribly sorry about that, but we've met 1,000 times, so I had to miss one, I guess.
Yeah.
So I went back through what we had on paper and made some additional suggestions. And before I get to that, I wanted to just go back to Mr. Anders' point about Section 7. This document is trying to do a lot, and there's a lot of different groups that are involved, like officials, appointees, and employees. And that Section 7, I believe, is designed only to be applicable to employees. Marcus, you thinking
That applies to everybody.
it does apply?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, well, then changing the verbiage to who is under it works. When it says Knox County has a zero tolerance policy, to me, that all read like it was just to employees. And then there are essentially two things that you're acknowledging. One would be the Ethics Committee members are acknowledging, and then if you're an employee, you have to acknowledge this other policy. So there's two different things. Lots of different groups in here. So we'll let that percolate a minute. And then in this submission that I suggested or submitted, what my intention was to add an introductory statement of purpose. It'd be on page 3.
And that is not the one paper clip, that's the other one.
That's right.
Are you on procedures?
No, I'm still on the code.
It's on the, he is referring to the one that's paper clipped by themselves like this.
Yeah.
In color. That was a separate package.
So, Mr. Goodpaster, if I understand, it is your request that we add the introduction and statement of purpose to the final draft?
Well, and in the grand scheme of things, I didn't know that it had been decided that we were going to put forward the version ahead. So I apologize for this because it feels
No,
like
it's
I'm coming
fine.
in out of left field. But I was just trying to do some good work and contribute. So, yeah, that's one element. And I think the other notes are throughout in red in the section of definitions. I was thinking about adding complainant and respondent as definitions to help clarify things.
I personally think the more definitions laying out who does what, the better, because it eliminates chaos a little bit. Anyone else have any thoughts?
Give me just a second.
Okay.
Is the language the same? It's the same as like on into the, when, as far as the definitions goes. They're the same, correct? The complainant and respondent. Can you control F it, Marcus?
Do what?
And can you control F it and just
Yeah, what you looking for?
a respondent?
Looks like it's mainly in the complaint section.
And then can you control F for complainant?
Yeah, same section.
I don't have a problem with adding those.
I think it's a good idea. If anyone else has any alternative thought.
Are you saying you don't have a problem adding, I think it was 6 and 7?
Under the definitions, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah,
And
Agreed.
Complainant as well. I can't see up there. I've got rods in my neck, but, and I can't see that because I'm blind, so I'm just either way. I think I see it. Okay. Steve, any other thoughts or suggestions?
Yes, ma'am. On page 9, this will bring us back to that earlier comment. 4.8 would be the section. It says, all elected officials and employees of Knox County must sign an employee acknowledgement stating that they have received a copy of the policy.
Knox County Ethics Policy.
Well, whose policy? Because to me, it's like, I think if you're an employee, are we referencing back to the same code of ethics, or is there a separate policy? That's what I wanted to get clarification on.
I think that's a great question. My other thought is, are we doing this? I mean, I assume we're doing this for all employees. It was my initial thought we were doing this for elected officials, but it looks like now it's countywide.
Officials, employees,
Yeah.
So the only purview we have over is in reference to this, in my opinion, would be the Knox County Ethics Code. That's what I think should go in here.
Okay. Can you clarify with Marcus how to word that?
Which section are we on again? I'm sorry.
We're in
4.8.
4.8.
Yes.
And it says policy there, sir? I would change that copy of my suggestion is Knox County Code of Ethics.
And then on further in, that they have, I can't see either, that they have either read the code or have like where it says policy, just change that to code maybe? Or do you want to put the whole Knox County?
No, I think that's good. You just
Okay.
read the code, and that's fine. Me.
One more. That's another section that Mr. Anders brought up. All elected officials, employees,
Yes.
and appointees. Consistency.
Did you just giddy up?
I did.
I like it.
Yes, sir. And Madam Chair,
Yes,
on the
sir.
page 10, this would be section 6, under whistleblower.
Y'all are moving too fast for me.
Yeah, well, let's give Marcus a chance. He's doing
Yeah.
the real work.
Sorry.
No, you're doing the real work.
Ah, shit. Wrong button.
Can we just, when he gets that updated,
Okay.
can we just control F, the elected officials and employees? And just to ensure that the entire document mirrors all, like it all mirrors the same language? Because,
For making sure that appointees is one, is
correct.
the third
To
for
mirror the
everything.
language Mr.
Yeah.
Anders brought up, yeah.
Madam Chair, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm about to be late for a meeting.
You're fine.
If I have to dismiss, do we still have a quorum to vote on these changes, even in my absence?
We
do?
still have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much, I apologize.
Thank you. We appreciate your input today.
Madam Chair, if I may, I just wanted to refer the committee back to the definitions section on, depending on which document you're on. It's section 1, part 2, where officials and employees is defined, and it's defined to include pretty much anybody. So really, for the sake of uniformity, I would suggest instead of using the word appointees and elected officials, use that exact language, officials and employees, anywhere in the document that you're trying to refer to the group of people to whom this policy applies, because you've defined it once and then you just use it consistently throughout.
Who do I call to get you a bonus, Mr. Sanders?
I take cash.
I agree with that. I mean, that seems very logical and, yeah. So now Marcus can go back through and change it all
I'll
again.
fix it all again. I got it.
We love you, Marcus. We love you, Marcus.
How many more changes can we make for Marcus?
Subcommittee meetings were great.
I'm going to need another cup of coffee here in a minute. So.
So as Marcus tries to catch up to our constant changing, any other questions or concerns?
Well, before he moves on to his next bullet point, can we talk about whether, I'm just a one person, I'm a bullet point, one thing at a time. Y'all, I get overwhelmed. Where you wanted to add the introduction and statement of
Yes.
purpose.
Does anyone have any thoughts?
Well, I didn't know if Ms. Gibson just wanted to steer us that way to review it, or you had a comment
I
on
love
it.
a good statement of purpose. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I just, in my other side job that I work, and so it's always present. So
I never would have guessed that.
But are you, did you have a comment, or were you
No, I
steering us
wanted-
to read this?
because we didn't discuss it at all, and I want to read it.
Yeah.
And then, and before we move on to our next bullet point, so we'll have that.
Gotcha.
I love it.
I do too. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I added internal audit in there in this section because that's important as well, where matters may be referred to Law Director's Office, HR, internal audit. So that's that anonymous complaint hotline that we had a discussion about. So
I think it's excellent, very well written.
Thank you.
My only complaint is why did you put it on 2 pages?
It's a lot of text.
So is everyone in accord to add that to our draft? And then we're going to make a vote once we,
I just have a few brief potential additions.
okay?
And just for clarity's sake, very well written, Mr. Goodpaster. I love it. This Knox County Ethics Code, it's beginning of paragraph 2. I know it's within the document, but I just want to state it once, if we're okay with that.
Sure.
And then my second one is, there's a lot of reference to what we oversee and what we don't oversee. Does there need to be a reference in this paragraph to, the procedures? I think there's a couple paragraphs in there relating to jurisdiction, what the group's about. I didn't know where it would fit. It's just a question. Well, no, that's,
Do you mean in the introduction?
yeah, I'm saying there's a lot here about, rightly so, about who this ethics code pertains to. And then it's also about the laws and so on here. I'm not sure if it would fit or if it, but I didn't know if we needed a reference to the rules of procedure. Because in the second to last paragraph, we actually reference ethics complaints and jurisdiction. I don't know if we just want to put in a reference at the end of that, or in the middle of that first sentence maybe, or at the end, just reference Knox County Ethics Committee Rules of Procedures. I don't know, question mark. And it's not for me, not that it has to be in there, just was bringing it up.
Michael, I think on the second to last paragraph is a good spot because it says that the Ethics Committee's primary role is to receive and review ethics complaints within its jurisdiction, promote understanding of ethical standards. We could say establish rules of procedure, provide advisory guidance where authorized. I mean, it could fit in there.
Or we just start at the beginning, rather, the Ethics Committee's primary role is to establish Knox County Ethics Committee rules of procedures as well as to receive and review ethics complaints.
That's good.
So,
I'm
yes.
a math girl, not an English girl.
I'm an English girl, not a math girl.
But one of my keys in this statement of purpose was, here you have the ethics code. Is there words that we could put in there that specifically say Knox County Ethics Committee Rules of Procedures and a jump link?
How about that? So rather, the Ethics Committee's primary role is to receive and review ethics complaints within its jurisdiction following the established ethics rules of procedure.
Wonderful.
And that's why we pay you the big bucks.
And Marcus, can
Should get a
that be-
refund.
Can that be a jump link, hyperlink, the ethics rules of procedures?
Yeah, I can hyperlink it to the website.
Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go sleep now.
Any other discussion additions?
Yes, ma'am. I think the next thing would be, on my notes on page 9, it would be 4.8 acknowledgement. Oh, we talked about that. We changed it.
So we're over to 5.4.
Yeah, yeah. So now we're to section 6, number 4, I think. Number 4 there, I suggest we stat it because I think it's redundant.
Where
Are
do
you under the whistleblower section?
Yes, ma'am. Number 4 there.
redundant, is this verbiage found elsewhere in the document, sir, or are you just?
This is about the only time you see this where it's like reiterating violations of this section may subject the offending person. So, I mean,
That's every section, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't think it's needed.
I like the redundancy under the whistleblowers because I think that, you know what I'm saying?
I kind of like it too, just to
Yeah.
kind of lay out there, hey, if
Leave
you're
them
going to
alone.
harass these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right? That's fine. That's why it's a suggestion.
But we do concur it is a little bit redundant.
Okay. All right, and to the conflict of disclosure form, which is page 15, I believe, should be almost the very end.
So my question on this one goes back to the whole employee thing. Is that not handled in HR?
It depends on the office they work for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Mr. Goodpaster, from what I see in front of me in the change you suggested towards the end of the conflict of interest disclosure form, we should equate that to what we changed earlier, correct?
I think concurrency should be throughout. I think I was just thinking that I didn't know the answer, that we hadn't finalized our thoughts on that point. I think you said something about like if a conflict of interest disclosure form was remitted to the ethics chair, it could just be held there and there wasn't any reason to read it into the record.
Well, we had changed it earlier in this meeting in a section. Mr. Kennedy, I just need your help on that.
Sorry.
We'll let you catch up, sir. This is the one where we've changed it earlier to it'll be acknowledged in the meeting, in the first meeting. I think we have to take that verbiage and put it into this disclosure form.
That's just an acknowledgement that you've taken the training.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. All right, yep. Sorry.
Okay, I'm back, sorry.
Yep. Thanks for your pause, Mr. Kennedy. I'm back on the train.
So what are we seeking clarity on?
I think I'm suggesting that we step the "and will be read into the record."
Yeah, I mean, some of the disclosures, I would just think if I were an employee and I had a conflict of interest and I wanted to acknowledge that conflict of interest, I wouldn't necessarily want it broadcast for the world. So if there was some way where we could offer a little bit of sensitivity for the people that are actually coming forward and doing the right thing while still having that conflict. I mean, I know when it's a matter of public record, it's a matter of public record, but not everything needs to be spoken out loud versus, okay, we do have this.
Right.
What do you all think?
Under the rules of procedure, though, when it's submitted to, well, I'm getting back into the anonymous stuff. I'm not going to go down that road, but whether it's substantiated or not substantiated.
Well, that's a complaint.
Correct.
And this is a disclosure
And
form.
this is, okay.
I'm good studying that and being sensitive as well.
So would we strike that whole last sentence, or would we say,
I would strike the what's in red. I would keep the,
Shall be submitted.
yeah, submitted to the chair for the,
I think that was the discussion we had about where would those forms be housed,
Yeah, we did.
which is why we said read it into the record. So
Because we don't have a keeper of the records.
unless you're an employee, then it would typically go to your personnel file.
Is that something the law department could keep on file?
No.
Okay. Because then if it's a matter of public record, like me right now as the current chair, I don't think it would be proper for me to take it out of the building and take it to my house. So then you've got to figure out where we're going to house it.
Well, yeah, and then we muddy the waters depending on the office or the agency they're at. Because, for example, the sheriff's office, they have their own, and then you got Knox County HR. There's just so many different entities.
Yeah. But if let's say you're a county commissioner and you want to file a disclosed personal interest, who do you file that with?
I don't know.
I mean, generally, it's my understanding that if I'm a commissioner and there's going to be a vote of something, I have a conflict of interest, I just abstain voting on it, and that's the end of it.
Madam Chair, I believe what would happen, and for a voting body, the person voting can simply announce on the record they have a conflict, and usually they don't have to disclose the nature of the conflict, but they announce they have a conflict, and that becomes part of the record because the minutes are kept. And I believe the purpose of this what's in pink here, is because there is, as you've all been discussing, there's no repository for a physical record for this to be stored. Now, if the county clerk wishes to allow a repository for those records, then you could do that. But in the meantime, the way to handle this is to read into the record of an official meeting a conflict or a disclosure. That way, the person's reporting is recorded officially somewhere, and they can rely on that in the future. Now, I would note, whether the degree to which that has to be, that is it sufficient for a person simply to announce, do they have to get in the nitty-gritty of what their conflict is, or whether they just need to announce they have one? It probably depends on the nature of the position and what they're doing. If you're in purchasing, it may be really important to know that your brother-in-law has a controlling interest in such and such company, but otherwise it may be much less.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what I've done over here. If they're involved in nepotism and personal interest, they're already breaking the rules. So what makes us think they're gonna submit something saying, you see where I'm going? Or am I just traveling down the?
That's every rule in the world, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. My only other concern of reading it in the record, let's say John Q gives me a form that has nepotism against company A. 2 weeks later, we have our meeting. I read it aloud. Well, he's decided he didn't want that to be public, and now he denies ever submitting the form. We still need a repository for the forms, is my opinion. But maybe I'm overthinking that.
Where could we put it?
Can we just step back and just reinforce what the purpose of this form is? And that will get us, I think, more clarity on where we need to go with it. So what is the purpose of this form?
To disclose
Yeah.
personal interest.
It's right there in the second paragraph,
Yes, sir.
right? So I believe that the chair of the ethics committee, at the very least, needs to be aware of any conflicts. That's one. And two, I believe we need a repository. And I believe that either as options, and I can't turn to Mr. Kennedy right now, but either HR or the county clerk look like two good options for a repository.
I think the county clerk is excellent. I can reach out to him today and see if that's something they can do, if that's not violating a sunshine law.
No. It's not.
Okay.
So why don't we put that in there for now, and then we can get clarity from the current county clerk. Probably want to talk to the county clerk-elect as well, make sure he's informed or accepts it, would be great. And then if there's a change, maybe we could on our vote, well, if the which I don't think the county clerk will deny this,
Yeah.
but if they were, Mr. Kennedy, as HR,
I'm fine. I mean, I could just keep it in my OneDrive folder.
okay.
Just to bring it to sight, because maybe we are overthinking it, because all elected officials have to file the conflict of interest with the state. I know that personally, which is full of financial disclosures and all kinds of conflicts of interest information. So I guess what we're looking at would fall, if they're not an elected official, maybe, am I overthinking it again?
No, you're not overthinking it, but it's also good for the county to have that information directly as well, whether you're an elected official or not.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was,
Yeah,
so whether an elected, appointed, or an employee.
an employee, yeah. Officials and employees, I think, is what we referred it to, but the further definition is what you just said. Yes, absolutely. So I think Madam Chair, when we vote for this,
Yeah.
which is hopefully very soon, when we vote for this, I think we could just say, if not one, then the other.
Okay. So with that, are there any further discussions on the Knox County Code of Ethics update? If there are not, we can now accept a motion to vote.
This is just the Code of Ethics, correct?
Correct, just the Code of Ethics and nothing else.
Make a motion.
We now have a motion on the floor to vote on the Knox County Code of Ethics. Are there any seconds? Is there a second?
I will second, though, with the clarity and friendly amendment of county clerk on that piece vis-a-vis, if not accepted by the county clerk, to go to the depository of NHR with Mr. Kennedy.
Agreed, and I will send an email out to every member of the Ethics Committee once I have a conversation with the county clerk's office, just to make sure we are not violating any sunshine law.
Did I get all the changes that we wanted to put in there, though? I feel like I might be missing something.
I just want to point out that I really appreciate you fixing those smart quotes and those curly quotes. Thank you, Marcus.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Mine was the second with the friendly
The
amendment.
caveat.
So I don't know if Ms. Gibson wants to accept the friendly amendment.
I accept the friendly amendment.
Thank you.
All right, we now have a second. So all those in favor of adopting the Knox County Code of Ethics revisions, as Marcus has just typed up there, with the caveat, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Do we need a roll call vote for this, Mr. Sanders, on a policy change?
No,
Thank you.
not unless somebody calls for it.
And since there were no noes, I assume that the vote is unanimous. And so we have now voted to pass the Knox County Code of Ethics update on to be presented to the County Commission for their acceptance or rejection. Moving on, we now have the rules of procedure. Does anyone have any discussion or concerns with the copy as presented?
I have just a couple of very minor.
Yes, sir.
And for the record, I was one of the 500,000 viewers of the meetings, and I do appreciate all your all's hard work. This was a lot. If you go down to rule number 6, towards the end, and then back up a couple. So it'll be rule number 5, number M, or letter M. These are just some very minor typos. In letter M, the word argument, I think, should be arguments with an S. And then in Rule 6, letter B, there's a couple of times where the word ethic just needs an S. Those are the only three things that I found.
Looks like it's in there again on B. It's like you homeschooled kids.
Yep.
Any other concerns or areas that we need to discuss?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd made a note to myself here on rule number 6, B, item B. Just asking a question here. It says Ethics Committee members may participate in the decision only if they've heard all testimony and reviewed all evidence submitted for the Ethics Committee's decision. And my question was, can those who only hear part of the testimony engage in discussions and not the decision? You know, sometimes you got moving parts here. Somebody's got to leave, whatever. And I was just trying to hammer that down.
I think we discussed that at the last meeting,
Okay?
and that was because of how the vote was to be voted on. Sorry, just to clarify, the last subcommittee meeting. Do you remember, Mr.
I do. So the vote has to be 7 out of 9 voting members, and all 7 voting members need to be present through
All of it.
all of it. So that backs this up, that you can't be, and I would, I understand where you're coming from, but it's really tough when somebody's in part of it, not in part of it, and then the discussion, and it can really repeat a lot of stuff, and so on. So I'd urge who's ever part of it, really be part of it through the whole thing.
Yeah, if someone was accusing me of an ethical violation, I wouldn't want someone to vote on it unless they heard all the evidence.
Or even be involved in the conversation. If you're not presented with all the evidence, you really don't have a discussion.
I agree with
Say
that.
so, yeah.
I also understand what you're saying. It
Thank
can
you.
be challenging for appointed members to meet everything.
So no change suggested by me.
All right. Any other questions or concerns? If there are none, we can accept a motion to vote on the rules of procedure.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. Any second?
Second?
All those in favor of adopting the updated Knox County Ethics Committee Rules of Procedure as presented to us today, please say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, we have voted to accept the Knox County Ethics Committee Rules of Procedure as updated before us to present to the County Commission for their acceptance or rejection. The next item on the agenda is to accept any old business.
Can we back up just for a second?
Sure.
The chart that we discussed in the subcommittee? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that just for the website purposes?
I just make 2 points about it.
Am I missing something?
We were shown a flow chart from internal audit not too long ago, and it was stellar, and I'm a visual learner, so that kind of stuff really helps me. And as somebody who's been on this committee for 4 years, you know, you kind of learn through, you know, osmosis, I guess. But and we've done a lot of work to streamline things and make it clearer for the public. I mean, that's my goal here, is to help the public be able to interface and understand how a complaint works and do everything to the best of our ability. So I developed a rough-looking flow chart that is a reflection of the process that's outlined in the rules of procedure. So all I want to do is highlight one, is that the flow chart is broken down to follow the rules of procedure. And I think that makes it really clear to be like, oh, go here, this happens, here, this happens. Now, what that generated in my mind after doing that is that it highlighted the need of standardized letters and emails and things like that at each point in this process. I think that elevates the process. I think it makes it cleaner. And so that would be like a next phase that I would suggest that be developed. I also think that in these conversations we have today about having a repository, what if we had an email address that was for the chair? And then that could become that repository of, because it's public anyway, right? And when you roll in your chair, you get this email, and then we use that. That just would be a suggestion for process.
I've thought we've needed emails for a long time because it's very challenging to conduct official business from my personal account. I'm sure it's the same for other people as well.
Will you be submitting this to County Commission?
Yes, as soon as we're done, it is my intent to ask Marcus for the final draft to be submitted to each member of the county commission. And I will send an email to each commissioners along with each of you requesting an opportunity to present to the next county commission meeting.
And is that something that we could present to them? Like, when we first took on the feat or the project of the subcommittee and they gave us suggestions, is that something, because I love the flow chart and I hate that it's not in here because I'm a visual person too. Is that something we could present back to them and like add it to the website, add it somewhere where the public could access it and talk about the emails and all these things we've discussed?
So the goal, my suggestion during the subcommittee hearings was that we finalize and get approval from the county commission of both the code of ethics and the rules and procedures. From there, then, we would ask and inform the county commission that we would develop this further, the flow chart, that would 100% reflect, there'd be no other changes, no other additions, that would reflect the procedures and the code. And I think that the county commission would be fine with that as long as it paralleled that. So
my goal is to go to the next county commission as chairperson and let them know that we've updated it. And then I would like to turn it over to Michael Biddle since he was the subcommittee chair. So I would like for every member to come if you can, if you want to talk. You all can coordinate what presentation you want to give, but I think the county commission is expecting that from
Okay.
us.
Good. It's exciting.
So, any other thoughts?
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
2 points. Let me take those in reverse order. That you all can coordinate what you're going to do, sunshine law, that we can't be coordinating outside public meeting. Second, do you wish for me to reach out to CTAS to take a read over of
That would
this
be wonderful. Thank you.
before this goes to county commission?
I think it would be wonderful for them to review it. I am not vested in having a response before the county commission. We can let them know that it is in process of works and they can do with it what they wish.
All right.
and Madam Chair, and you would, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be me, but I think one single person should lead the discussion with the county, have everyone there. And I am, as I hope has been seen in all the subcommittee meetings, not afraid to say, hey, Marcus, you know this part better, or Stephen, you were, Crystal, which Crystal won't say a word, I'm sure. And then, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Probably the best to do to also keep the meeting shorter and that the commission isn't going, wait, do I ask Crystal on this part and Stephen on this part? Probably should go with
Yes.
one lead.
And I will ask Chairperson Oster how many minutes she would like to give us for it, and I can pass that information on.
That'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Madam Chair, just for clarification, do you want me to email the commissioners these drafts and copy you on it?
Please.
Roger that.
So any old business?
Oh, new business. I'm sorry. I was.
Go for it.
It has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to serve on this committee. I've met some wonderful people, and fortunately and both unfortunately, I am going to be submitting my letter of resignation, and I do believe August 31st. And the letter will be forthcoming. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up and let you know because of recent elections and stuff, I will have to step down. So, but I've absolutely loved this and what this committee stands for, and you guys.
So will you be at the August meeting for county?
It's
for
my
ethics?
understanding from the law director's office that I can, yes.
Okay, awesome. That will also be my last meeting because my term will be ending after August. So.
Okay, and that's pending, obviously, any unforeseen circumstances, but we'll tackle that if we have to.
All right. Anything else? All right. If there is no old business to discuss, I think we can now move to adjourn. Any motions to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Any second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Then I get to use my gavel. We are adjourned.